Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to Our Awaken. So for today's conversation, it's not a new topic, but I just wanted to add on to it, just speaking about Black women and our hair. And I kind of just wanted to talk about, I feel like, the negative cycles, but just the negative side effects of just everything that we've been dealing with pertaining to the discourse on our hair, on what we should do with it, what we shouldn't do with it. So I'm not really going to go into the history of our hair because honestly, like I said, this is not a new topic conversation. I'm gonna just hop straight into this conversation and it'll all make sense as I go. So one thing that I've noticed, and I also don't like when it comes to us as Black people, is how we're so quick to criticize each other on our hair and call each other nappy headed, bald headed, or even resulting to call them ugly as a way to try to insult them because you feel like their hair is unkempt when their hair isn't done in a particular way outside of their natural state. And yes, it does take a lot more effort to maintain our hairs because of the density, but also because of the curls. Like, come on y'all, we know it does take effort and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. But my thing is, why can't we love our hairs in its natural state without feeling like we're lacking in beauty when it's not done? Of course, due to history and everything that we and our ancestors have experienced, we have internalized the projections of outsiders so much that we don't even realize how we're harming ourselves by overly criticizing our peers and just, our fellow people for not having our hair done a specific way outside of, again, our natural state. And sometimes even in our natural state, when we decide to rock certain styles like locks, for example, I'm African, and one thing about the African community, and I feel like this is more so like the older generation and it's still kind of lingering now, the way they villainize locks, I just don't understand, because locks are native, but we have gotten so far away from our roots, of course due to colonization and assimilation, all with the intention to be accepted and fit in with the European beauty standard. But the reality is we don't fit in with the European beauty standards, and that's okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I love being Black. Like, I love everything about being Black. I love how versatile we are. I love that it's not boring. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't like boring, and I feel like Black people are the complete opposite of boring. You get what I'm saying? So yes, we have naturally curly hair that tends to shrink, but we've been told that having straighter hair and longer hair makes you look more prettier and it's more acceptable, and that's the vision that we should strive for. And it's not to say that you can't pick up that style if that's what you want to do, because again, like, you can be Tina one day, you could be Sally another day, do what you want to do. Your looks, I feel like, are all about creative expression, but when it comes down to you feeling like you can't be your natural state because you feel like it's ugly or you feel like you need to look another way to look presentable, I think that's where the problem comes in. Because like I said, don't get me wrong, like, during my days of, just getting real creative with my hairstyles, it was fun because I felt like I didn't have to just have one look. I could try out different looks and feel like, okay, like, let me try this out, let me try that out. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun with experimenting these different hairstyles, but I also had to acknowledge the undertone of, why do I not want to explore my styles? You get what I'm saying? Like, why do I not want to explore my natural styles, but every style that I want to recreate is of a different style than what's original to me? You know what I'm saying? And again, it's because of that direct program or even that subconscious programming, because our ancestors and say like our mothers, our grandparents, they may have had to experience the things when it comes to like the work situations, or even outside of work, them being taunted for their natural hair, versus say, I feel like the younger generation, we typically, of course, like experience that as well. I feel like more of on an like environment level, the people that you're around, the community, but also based off of what we see. So if, say for example, on social media, if you're seeing a lot of people with the bust downs and you're seeing them with all these different textures, you feel like that's the look that you have to embody, because again, like, all of this stuff is programming, whether you know it or not, but typically it's subconscious. But I feel like the problem is that it has gotten so bad to where there are a lot of women who feel shame, or they don't even want to go outside because they feel like they don't look good if their hair is not done. And unfortunately, they don't even feel like they embody beauty unless they attach extensions of another hair texture onto their head, usually of a softer, silkier texture. So basically what I'm trying to say is, unless their hair is done, you will not see them in between hairstyles because they feel like they're not presentable to people, and that's them in their natural state. And collectively, we are suffering the consequences because of that. It's almost like there's this pressure that's on you to look a certain type of way, and if you don't feel like you check off certain boxes, then you feel like, okay, like I'm not going to look good. And it's like, whether people acknowledge it or not, there is this heavy pressure on Black women when it comes to their hair. And I feel like when I hear people have conversations about how Black people are obsessed with their hair and things like that, it's kind of like, how do you not expect them to be to a certain extent? Because it's like everywhere you turn, someone has a comment to say about it, whether you don't look good because your hair is not of this texture or you don't have this particular length. I feel like when it comes to Black women's hair, it's always been under a microscope. So of course, yes, we are going to put that much effort into our hairs, especially, like I said, there's always conversations being had. I'm even having a conversation, but I'm not having the conversation in a sense of trying to judge or, you know, like anything like that. I feel like I'm just bringing light to certain things that I feel like we do face. So, you know, I'm not the bad guy here. And the reality is, most are suffering in silence because as they latch onto extensions, but not only that, I'm not sure if a lot of women have realized this or not, or if they've experienced this themselves like I have, but there's almost this negative cycle that you will find yourself in when it comes to your hairstyles. It's kind of like a toxic relationship that you know you shouldn't be in, but you're in it because you feel like you don't have any other choice. It's like, you know, it's harming you, but you just feel like you can't let go. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of the styles that we tend to resort to are meant to be protective styles. These styles are meant to protect your natural hair, usually of Afro texture, to prevent you from experiencing just damage and breakage. And when it comes to these protective styles, there are styles where you're just using your natural hair, but now oftentimes the protective styles that we tend to lean more towards incorporate extensions. Now, I don't know about y'all, but growing up, anytime I did protective styles, it always had to have the addition of extensions to it. So I would do like braids, twists, and locks, and it was all using synthetic hair. And in my teenage years, I would do sew-ins with leave out, and then of course down the line, I started to transition into wearing wigs, you know, with frontals and closures. And I'm not gonna lie, I was that girl where if I'm wearing a closure or a frontal, it had to be glued down because I'm not about to get caught lacking and my wig slide off my head. Like, I needed to be secured and in place. And yeah, now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the looks that I created because, again, I love the versatility and the creativity I feel like that Black women just incorporate in their hairstyles. So it was always like, wow, when I saw something, I wanted to try it out if I could. But y'all, when I say I am happy to be out of that stage in my life, I mean the synthetic braiding hair and the wigs were starting to become so torturous. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, it got to a point where, especially me doing my own hair, because I'm very particular, I dreaded doing my hair because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm about to put in another hairstyle, because I always switched it up. So say if I did braids, my next hairstyle I might put in a wig, and then after that I might do twists, and then after that I'm gonna go back to a wig, or I might do locks. You know, it was always me alternating to try to give like my hair a break in some sort of way. So say like after individual braids or locks or twists, I'll be like, you know what, let me give my scalp a break from the tension, so I'm gonna go to a wig where I have like my cornrows, but then I will have the glue down on my edges. So then after taking that out, I'm like, damn, let me give my edges a break because, you know, it's starting to get a little shedding. So let me go back to the braids and just be a little light on the tension when it comes to the perimeter of my head. It was this back and forth that I was dealing with, and I'm like, hold on, I'm in this negative cycle that I'm not feeling, and it feels like regardless of whatever hairstyle I do, it's hurting my hair while I'm trying to protect my hair. And I had to go through that cycle so many times for me to realize, like, okay, I need to get off this hamster wheel because this is starting to become insanity. When it came to like the synthetic hair, the way my scalp will be itching, I was just like, what the heck is going on? Or even the breakage that I was experiencing from the tension, or even just from my scalp being irritated from the synthetic hair, and even the balding of my edges from the glue. Like, y'all, when I tell you I was not putting on a wig if I didn't have it glued down or hairsprayed or gelled, but it's like the gel got messy, the hairspray would turn white after a while. It's like when I did my hair, I wanted it to be done for at least like a week or something. You know, like 5 days, I feel like I could go with a wig without feeling like insecure about how it's looking, you know, if the person get too close. But it's just like I wanted it to be down because I wasn't a person where I'm about to do my hair every 3 days. Like I just don't have time for that. So I knew something had to change, and thank God I eventually listened to my gut feeling and just locked my hair, because honestly I will always get faux locks and I absolutely love them. And I'm just like, you know what, like this is a hairstyle that I love. I can see myself having for the rest of my life, if I'm being completely honest. I don't have to pay $100+ every month to purchase supplies to do my hair. You know, it's just very easy. Like now all I have to do is wash my hair, retwist my hair, and I feel great. Listen, I can't complain. Life is easy, you know? But before making this decision to lock my hair, it was so hard for me to walk away from the hairstyles that I was used to doing, because it's like, okay, if I don't do my hair this way, or I'm trying to be versatile with it, but yet it's still causing damage when my intention is only to protect my hair. And it's like, because I was wearing these protective styles for so long, I no longer felt confident in my natural hair like I did when I really started to get heavy into it, because I felt like my edges were being pulled out from the hairstyles and things like that. So it's almost like I felt like I had to continue doing these protective styles in order to maintain my look. But like I said, they were just causing more damage. So it's like, you know, you need to get off this hamster wheel, but you feel like you can't get off the hamster wheel because you don't know what you're gonna do. It was just a lot, which basically explains the unhealthy codependency that I was talking about, because it's like, you know, you should stop doing these hairstyles, but you don't feel like you have any other choice because your foundation is altered. So you're basically left more insecure than you initially would have been. And surprisingly, one thing that I've noticed with some women are they're okay with damaging their foundation in order to maintain a certain look. So it's like, I thought I was the only one experiencing what I was experiencing when it came to like the glued down wigs and just the braids. But because I was a lash tech for 5 years and I had a lot of women coming in to get serviced by me, I was able to see, you know, like their edges and things like that, especially from women who tend to get frontals. And I'm like, okay, like this is not just a me thing, like this is a common thing that people are experiencing. And the part that was crazy to me was the fact that I would see women online literally shaving their edges basically to accommodate them wearing a wig because their hairline was low. Mind you, my problem when it came to wigs was the fact that I have a low hairline and a small forehead. So it's like my hairline damn near is already at my eyebrows. So if I put a wig, I'm gonna look like that thing is like, it's trying to shield my eyes. So the dilemma that I was basically having was, it's either I bring it above my hairline, which is going to make it look even closer to my face, which just looked weird to be honest, or the other option was to put the wig directly on my hairline so that it mimics my exact hairline. The problem with that method was when it came time to take the wig off, I would try to melt the glue off as much as possible, but it's like some of my baby hairs are still getting caught up in the glue and they're not really melting down, you know, because you're trying to get a good install, right? So you getting that perfect melt in the beginning of your install is your goal, right? But now when it's time to take it off, it's like, damn, like it's a little too secure. So now when it comes time to take the wig off, some of your edges are coming off with it. And that's when I was just like, yeah, I can't do this, because when I'm doing my braids, I'm allowing my edges to grow back because I'm being very mindful of just the tension on my perimeter. But when I'm putting the frontal back on for the next hairstyle, it's taking my edges right back with it. And I'm just like, listen, I don't like this. But again, there are some women who they will shave their hairline off because to them, I'm wigging for life. So I don't even care about my edges. And I'm just like, damn, like, what if you don't want to wear a wig? You damaged your whole foundation and now you're gonna look crazy. Unless if you just shave your head all bald and allow it to grow back. But I just feel like, why compromise on your foundation for a wig? You know, to me, I mean, like, you know, you do what you want, but I just feel like that's not what I wanted to do. Like, if I'm going to add something onto my body, I still want to maintain my foundation, because I don't want to feel like I'm codependent on that add-on to look a a certain type of way. You know, I want to still be in my natural state and feel good about my natural state. You know, I still want to take care of my foundation. But some women said to hell with it. You know, I don't care about the edges. And I was just like, okay. But anyways, I feel like when it just comes to our crown as Black women, it has been attacked, of course, over the years. But is it just me where I feel like it's getting worse? Because can we be honest about like the hairs that we install, that we add into our hair, it's not made by us. We don't know what they're using to make it. And I've seen some videos where I'm like, this is not healthy to have in our hair. You know, like especially long term. We don't create the products and the chemicals that are in it. It's so toxic. We don't know what type of things are being mixed in it, yet we're putting this directly on our skin and we're leaving it on for days and weeks at a time. And I think people also have to acknowledge that we are applying these things to our hair, which is close to our brain, and our skin will absorb these things. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it can seep into our brain, and you don't know what the effects of that would be long term. And I can only imagine that it's not good. But I feel like I've talked enough, so I'm just gonna share some clips of just women and their negative experiences when it comes to just hair extensions. Like, y'all, people's scalps are getting beyond irritated. Some people are getting infections to like the products that they're using. A lot of women are experiencing traction alopecia at a very young age, and it's just a whole lot going on. And I'm also going to share some videos of just some concerning processes of the creation of these products. And it's just like, you know, like I just want people to really think about like, is this worth putting in your hair and how it can affect you long term? So let's roll the clips.
Okay, so basically the red one was a fail. Like as y'all can see, this is the red wig. Can y'all still see the red now? So y'all won't think that we lying. See what here's the inside of it. Yes, so basically when we thought I don't know how to explain it, but
like I don't know, we thought it was good, and then when we looked at it,
it came out like this. So yeah, it was a fail, but it's still in the video. But y'all don't see the finished product. But this is the finished product, basically. So yeah, just look, we can feel it. It didn't come out.
Like this don't even look like hair. No,
we gonna show y'all this. We gonna tell y'all this hair company. So it's up. Okay, y'all. So this is the pink and purple one.
This is so
all the hair. Look, it's so broad. Like look, like I can see my fingers through it. Like that don't make no sense. Like
y'all should have told us that this would happen.
Y'all see how long it is? Look how short it is. Look how short it is. Like,
Try to do a frontal install tutorial. We be telling y'all to stop using rubbing alcohol to remove your wigs. This is extreme, but it is very common to experience irritation when using lace glue and rubbing alcohol.
Be careful with these fucking wigs, y'all. My hairline just broke out so bad these bumps are killing me. I'm salty because I don't even wear wigs that much. And look, my hairline is receding, like I'm literally going bald. Maybe it's because the lace is so hard and it's rubbing against my sensitive skin. I don't know, but I'm going back to Sonia's.
This client got some crazy breakage because of knotless braids. So because there's no knot in braids like this, there's not enough support to hold the weight of the extension, which causes breakage on finer hair. So after looking at her hair, she says her hair is always trouble to detangle, and you can see there is some crazy breakage, and she has also a lot of split ends. So instead of just shaving her head off, which is what she was thinking to do, I was like, let's just do a really solid trim, get rid of all those split ends, and start over and growing the hair from a healthy point. And I just really strongly want to warn you guys to not do knotless braids unless you have extremely thick hair. It's not worth it. Keep the knot.
The cankalon hair needs to be counted. It really is affecting our hair. Like, this video and other videos that I've seen have clearly shown that cankalon hair does not work well with natural hair.
So I want to have a little discussion because I feel like I'm one of the queens of knotless braids. And, you know, it's summertime. We put our little knotless braids in. We rock the knotless braids all summer. And as much as I love knotless braids, it's popping my hair. It's breaking my hair. Like last year, and I didn't want to like give it much attention because I love them so much. Last year, went to my hairstylist to get my silk press. Hair ate up. Right in the middle in the back. Can we talk about it? It's not giving protective style. I don't know what it's giving. It's not growing my hair. So what we gonna do?
So I feel like this is something that I should share with the girlies because a lot of girlies wear wigs. So a lot of us probably are not understanding a lot of things when it comes down to wearing wigs. I'm someone who's been wearing wigs for a while now, maybe like at least four to 5 years. And when I wear wigs, I was realizing that the back of my hair was tearing out a lot. And I've explained this in lives. I've explained this in when I do girls' hair, which I don't do hair no more, so don't ask me. But I was always paying attention to why my hair was always coming out in the back. Why is it really thin back here in the nape area of the back of my hair? So what I had realized and what I started doing was I started cutting the combs out. The combs in the back, a lot of people don't pay attention or they don't explain or they don't care. But girlies who do hair, this will tear out the back of your client's hair. So your client will be bald back here, will start thinning. And this is the reason. So me, I'm the type of girly, I cut this thing out and I don't put it in, I don't wear it no more. So yeah, that's the reason why it's falling out in the back. So cut it out. Get your little razor blade and cut it out. Thank me later. Promise you. Oh yeah, and real quick, a lot of girls will say, like, how do I keep that wig down back there? Tell your stylist to sew your wig down in the back. Problem solved.
Y'all can keep the got to be, because I'm going to keep my edges, okay? You mean to tell me we spent all the 2010s growing our edges back just to let these wig caps snatch them out? In 2024, we getting rid of these wig caps because they don't do nothing but make your hair stink, rip your edges out, and they're just annoying to use, and you got to do mad extra steps to lay your wig. Now, y'all seen me install wigs with my wig cap and my wig grip, but I got something better for you. I found the best 2-for-1 placement. Listen, okay, so you already have your wig grip built in to the circumference of the band. Now you no longer have to use all that got to be glue spray, letting it sit for an hour with the band and stuff. Nope, already comes flat. And yes, it's adjustable and it comes in multiple colors. If you're interested, click that shopper cart to the left. They thought of everything because there's even some little scoop-de-doops for the ears, y'all. Hold on, let me put it on. Do y'all see how flat that is? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let me get my wig. Hold on. Now, I'm going to just throw on one of my favorite wigs right quick, just so y'all can see how good the grip is. Hold on. Let me just show y'all how good the grip is. Because now, I ain't even worried about how I'm brushing. Nothing, because it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. The wig is, you know, by now with them other caps, she would have been, you can't do this from the roof. She would have been on the floor. Let me finish brushing her. Hold on. So y'all can really see how strong this grip is. Ponytail from the back.
Kanekalon hair should be illegal. Kanekalon hair is made with the chemical acrylonitrile and vinyl chloride. Both substances are toxic, causing reproductive cancers, cysts, liver damage, and anxiety. Braiders burn or dip Kanekalon hair in hot water when styling, which releases these toxic fumes into the air, and unless the braider is wearing a gas mask and gloves, they breathe in these fumes, which lodge into their lungs, which can lead to tumors and reduced lung function. Your risk is especially increased if you braid hair or get braids while pregnant, as the chemicals in Kanekalon hair can cause developmental issues in offspring. Is this hairstyle worth the deadly health hazards?
Leave that dope alone. You need to leave that dope alone.
I just got these braids done 5 days ago and I already gotta take them out, and here's why. 24 hours after getting these braids done, I started having allergic reactions, and I'm gonna insert some pictures here. My face was breaking out. My ear was turning red, getting very itchy. My eyes were bubbling, and I was just very uncomfortable. My whole body was itching for days. I knew it was the braids because it's happened to me before, but I thought the stylist washed it this time, but I still had the exact same reaction, so I had to get different hair and try to wash it myself for this next appointment. Luckily, my stylist said she would do it over, so I'm happy about that, but I just don't want to have to sit another 8 hours to get these braids. But here I am prepping this hair because I want to get my money's worth and be able to wear this hair at least a month and not 5 days. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can do something different. I got 4 packs of expression hair from my previous braider. She gave it to me free of charge. So I was happy about that because I got to save some more money. And now I'm here just starting this process. I'm going to add some apple cider vinegar to some cold water and then take a spoon and try to get that, distributed amongst the water. And I'm going to add the braiding hair into the water. This apple cider vinegar stunk so bad, but anything to save this hair. I let that sit in the water for about 14 hours overnight, and then I just washed it out with cold water to try to get the smell out, but I still had to go in after and shampoo it with some shampoo I had at home. I just put it in the water, took a spoon, stirred it for some bubbles, and added my silicone conditioner because that smells so good, so I wanted to add that step in also. And I just distributed that in the water, put the hair back in, and let that sit for a few hours while I did some wig work. I don't know if this is going to help, but I really hope it does because I spent $220 on this hair. I don't think the stylist is going to give me a refund, but she was nice enough to be able to do it over again with different hair, so I'm appreciative of that. I'm going to come back a few days later and let you guys know how the new braids worked after this process. I'm just going to let this air dry, add it to some hangers, and go to my appointment tomorrow, and hopefully everything works out. If it doesn't, I think it's going to be the end of braids for me because I can't keep going through this. It's breaking out my face really bad and just so uncomfortable. So stay tuned, you guys. I'll let you guys know what happens.
So as y'all can see, it gets really extreme, and it's just scary because we've seen, like, say for example, when it comes to like back in the day, they would promote perms, and then down the line we're hearing about how it causes cancer and all these things, and how the girls in the commercials weren't even getting their hairs permed, they would just get it pressed out. And it's like these companies are false advertising, but it's like with what intention? Like, and if y'all watch the movie They Clone Tyrone, it's on Netflix and it's a great movie. There was even a portion in the movie where they were showing how the perms that were meant for the black women were used as a source of like experimentation on them. And I was just like, honestly, the world that we live in, I'm not surprised. So I feel like black women, we need to start to just really think about what we're putting in our head. We need to really think about how we're viewing ourselves when it comes to the hairstyles that we choose to put in. And I feel like just being a little more intentional about what we're putting in our head, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I just feel like long term it's not going to be good. But because it's so normal now, and you know, like, the girls are getting into these things at a younger age, so it's just like, imagine the case studies that we might hear down the line, you know? I feel like back in the day growing up, I just recently spoke about this in a previous video, I feel like when I was in middle school, high school, for you to have on a wig, you were seen as a granny. Like, anyone who wore a wig, they were usually of an older age. Now the girls be in high school, middle school with a bust down frontal, and I'm just like, wow, times have changed, you know? So it's just like, imagine the long-term effects that they may experience. And you know, like I said, the girls are balding, so it's like, if we can't wear other hairstyles because of the balding, you are going to just stick to the wigs. And if you're gonna constantly keep gluing them down, you are more likely to experience the negative side effects of these chemicals that are in them because of your repetitive, consistent use of it. So I don't know, y'all, like, just let me know y'all opinions on this video. I feel like, you know, like, of course, do what you want with your hair, but I just care about us, and I want us to, you know, take care of our health, because the world don't care about our health. So I'm just doing my part to kind of add on to the conversation, and hopefully, you know, like, enlighten some people. Like, let's learn to love our natural beauty, you know? Like, I'm not saying you can't try out different styles. Again, do what you want. Like, I absolutely love trying out different things, but say when it comes to locks, like, I feel like I can be, like, I'm just getting into that stage where I'm really just experimenting different styles with it, and not feeling so restricted or feeling like I need to have a certain hair texture in order for me to feel beautiful. Like, honestly, I feel like this is the most beautiful I felt in my entire life, in the state of like not overdoing it, you know? Like, it just feels, I feel great. I feel great with locks. Like, I feel like I wouldn't change my hairstyle for anything, if I'm being completely honest. But anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for listening to me talk. I would love to know your opinion if you have any. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in another one. Bye.